Right now at 6, Antique-ish Mall in Joplin is making it easy on last-minute Christmas shoppers to get their last-minute gifts.
And we've got a cloudy, dreary, drizzly start to our Christmas day. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Simply Time Homestead in Carl Junction hosts a Christmas pop-up shop for last-minute shopping.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Merry Christmas, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. I hope you all are off to a fantastic Christmas start out there. I'm sure the kids have probably had you up for the last couple of hours. They're ready to open them.
Their gifts.
They probably started opening them before you even woke up. They're like, oh, they won't know if we open these. Of course we'll know. Parents know everything. We know when the thermostat's been touched.
Absolutely.
So we're definitely going to know if the Christmas presents have been opened. But it kind of feels like Christmas out there. Doesn't look like it, but it feels like it.
All right.
It's cold, it's dreary, it's drizzly. And we might see some light wintry precipitation. Let's take a quick look outside. It's our camera on top of the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. We are breezy, we are cloudy, we are drizzly out there. And as we take a look, again, the MoDOT camera network is taking the day off. So this is the RDOT camera, I-49 and 8th Street down in Bentonville. But as you can see, it's not much different down there. Cloudy, drizzly, breezy. Just kind of a not so fantastic start to the day. Now, the Skywatch Storm Tracker has changed here in the last little bit across parts of southeast Kansas, and I know it's not ever going to remember what I want to do, so we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. No. That's what we want to do. We want to take a closer look at the precipitation that's falling in parts of southeast Kansas, which now you can see it's stuck on Zoom. So, well, we're going to get really close on that snow, but we got some light snow. We got a light wintry mix falling in those areas that are in purple out there across parts of southeast Kansas. So you can see this all rotating on through here, and that transition as temperatures fluctuate into some light snow, light wintry mix. But again, unfortunately, if you're looking for a white Christmas, this isn't really going to add up to anything. But if you're traveling, that's some good news at least. We're not looking at any major travel concerns from any of that stuff today. We are having some reduced visibilities out there thanks to the drizzle and the mist and everything that's going on. As you can see, stretching from Iola, Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Carthage, Mount Vernon, Anderson. Some of them not reduced too terribly much, but still, you got to watch out out there. 39 in Joplin, 38 in Pittsburgh right now, drizzly in both locations. And of course, that doesn't show up on radar, but you can look outside and see that it is happening. Light wintry mix possible periodically through the day, and we'll have cloudy skies, otherwise temperatures hovering mid-30s and winds out of the west gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. So that's going to make it feel even colder. We're having another complete look at your forecast here a little later. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. A Joplin police officer is confirmed to be involved in a shooting of a 55-year-old male. Joplin police were responding to a suicidal male subject earlier yesterday evening in the Royal Heights neighborhood near St. Louis and Vandalia. The man was rushed to an area hospital trauma response and was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Captain William Davis confirmed to KOAM that an officer was involved in the shooting and an investigation is ongoing. A Seneca, Missouri man is dead following a motorcycle crash in Ottawa County, Oklahoma Saturday night. Authorities say the single motorcycle crash occurred about 5 p.m. Saturday near Mile 5 Camp. 39-year-old Nicholas Patton was transported to Mercy Joplin, where he later died. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Christmas is here, and local organizations are preparing Christmas dinners for area communities. KNEO 91.7 FM in Neosho, Missouri will hold its annual Christmas dinner at the Neosho Municipal Auditorium at 11 a.m. on Christmas Day. In Kansas, the Wesley House in Pittsburgh is partnering with the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas to also hold a Christmas dinner at noon at the Wesley House. For more information about community Christmas dinners, check out our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And some 4-staters spent their day last-minute Christmas gift shopping. The Antique-ish Mall and Beyond Me Boutique in Joplin yesterday hosted the event. Shoppers were invited to show up yesterday morning in their favorite Christmas pajamas.
We've got everything. We have tons of candy and taffy and soda for all the kids of all ages, and they're great stocking stuffers. We have a couple boutiques for the women. We have collectibles, glassware, furniture, anything antique, primitive, vintage, and in between. We had to do something fun because it was the last day, and some of my staff really wanted to wear their Christmas pajamas, so we just went with it for today.
The event also had a showing of how the Grinch stole Christmas for shoppers to enjoy. And Simply Time Homestead in Carl Junction Saturday hosted a Christmas pop-up shop. The event gave shoppers a chance to finish up Christmas shopping while also browsing some holiday treats, including cookies and cinnamon rolls.
So we've got the cinnamon rolls, the homemade cinnamon rolls, the jars and stuff to give as gifts, and then we've also got with Mary's Berries the chocolate dipped strawberries and the chocolate dipped pretzels and other goodies and stuff like that. So things for you to be able to take home and enjoy on Christmas morning or give them as gifts.
The shop was open from 10 Saturday morning until 2 in the afternoon. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Tesla is recalling more than 120,000 of its vehicles because the doors may unlock due to a crash. Plus, people needing a roof over their head this holiday season have a new option in Salt Lake City, Utah with temporary micro shelters. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Christmas forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, fans of comedian Pete Davidson are wondering what's up. The Saturday Night Live alum abruptly canceled comedy shows scheduled at New York City's Beacon Theater on Friday and Saturday night. Davidson also is scrapping about a dozen other shows over the next 2 weeks in cities such as San Antonio, Atlanta, and Louisville. Ticketmaster says people with tickets will receive a full refund. So far, no comment from Davidson's representatives. Davidson also canceled a handful of shows last July after a judge ordered him to attend traffic school and perform community service. The judge issued the order after Davidson crashed a car into a home in Los Angeles last March. 2 months later, he reportedly checked himself into a rehab facility. And former President Donald Trump is urging a federal appeals court to grant him immunity from criminal prosecution in the federal election subversion case. In a filing late Saturday night, his attorneys argued Trump is protected under presidential immunity. The filing represents claims that Trump was working in his official capacity as president to, quote, ensure election integrity. The former president is trying to delay the March 4th trial. Last Friday, the Supreme Court turned down special counsel Jack Smith's request for justices to immediately hear the case. The appeals court fast-tracked its consideration and is scheduled to hear oral arguments on January 9th. And the IRS is giving businesses that claimed a pandemic-era tax credit but shouldn't have a chance to pay the money back. The Employee Retention Tax Credit was designed to help small businesses during the COVID pandemic. Businesses could get thousands of dollars per employee in tax credits. Some of them filed for it fraudulently, but also many firms cropped up that pushed employers to wrongfully claim it, leading to some do so wrongfully without knowing it. The IRS is letting those businesses pay back 80% of what they received and calling it even. Businesses with ERC claims that are still pending are also allowed to withdraw the claim with no penalty. IRS investigators are working to audit ERC claims and prosecute those that were illegal. And Tesla is recalling more than 120,000 of its vehicles because the doors may unlock during a crash, causing to unlatch and open, increasing the risk of injury. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says that the defect affects some Model S and X vehicles with model years 2021 through 2023. Tesla says it first became aware of the issue during a routine crash test earlier this month. However, the automakers say it is not aware of any injuries as a result of the defect. Owners will be notified by mail by mid-February, and Tesla also released an over-the-air software update for the affected cars. And people needing a roof over their head this holiday season have a new option in Salt Lake City, Utah. A new micro shelter is open and the temporary space can hold up to 50 people. The Philly Gooby has more.
a first-of-its-kind housing solution in Utah, living in these micro-shelters or pods.
Clients are able to have their own space. They're able to have something they can call their own.
The state of Utah and Salt Lake City are piloting this micro-shelter community to give people their own individual space that they can come back to at the end of the day. It's the only non-congregate shelter in the state and has been open for about a week.
It reduces anxiety, it reduces stress, it allows them to focus on getting settled in, feeling safe, and being able to go do what they need to do to get into successful housing.
The pods from a company called Fold'em have a door that can be locked, a bed, power outlets, and heating and cooling systems. And this is how they were installed in the site.
It's been a lot of gratitude. We've had a lot of clients really happy that they're able to get out of the elements, get out of the snow, get out of the cold, and just have a place to lay their head at night.
The space can hold about 50 people, and they have about 20 occupants right now who are either single men or couples. There's also an area for pets, and they have case managers on site to help people get on their feet. SwitchPoint is the provider.
They don't have to walk who knows where. They don't have to take any public transportation. They can just walk across from their pod, see our case management team, and it makes it a lot more convenient. It also lets us know what they're struggling with where they sleep so that we can help address issues that other resources may not know about.
Community partners and other resource centers help refer people to the shelter. Safety is a key element, so SwitchPoint also handles security.
We check bags, we have metal detector wands. What we're looking for is any weapons, drugs, anything that could be potentially dangerous, and we make sure the clients aren't bringing that into their rooms so that it's safe for them, staff, and other clients.
Again, this is a pilot program and it will run through April 30th, and then the state will have 30 days to move these pods to a new location. The goal is to use what they learned from this pilot program and implement that for future projects. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Now here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got some drizzle out there. We've got clouds. We've got wind. We even have a light wintry mix for some of us, which is showing up on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Good news for travelers. This isn't going to add up to much of anything. Bad news for those wanting a white Christmas. Well, it's not going to add up to much of anything out there, but don't be surprised if you see some flurries. Quick look at our camera, 7th and range line. You can see it is covered in the drizzle out there in Joplin, and fog. Not necessarily fog, but between the drizzle and the heavy mist, we're getting some reduced visibilities across the area. Not significantly so. We don't have any dense fog advisories, but just be aware that you could run into some reduced visibilities out there. RDOT camera, I-49 and 8th Street in Bentonville showing some of that drizzle, the clouds, and just the unpleasant conditions. We go through today. It's cloudy. Could see a wintry mix. Could see some light drizzle out there. Temperatures kind of holding into the upper 30s. We'll have another full look at your forecast and talk about what other surprises Mother Nature has in store when the KOAM Morning News returns.
We have Lori Horton with us in studio, and she is here to teach us how to make traditional gingerbread cake bars. Welcome, Lori.
It's Christmas morning. What's more Christmassy than gingerbread,
Tis
right?
the season. Tis the season. All right. So how do we go about this?
Okay, so what we're going to be making this morning is not a gingerbread cookie. So there's kind of two types of gingerbread. You have a cake and you have a cookie.
Okay.
So we're doing a bar. It's very moist. It's very nice and light and cakey. So we're going to start with some softened butter. And this is a stick and a half, and it has not been outside, so it's nice and soft.
That's great.
So it's chilly out there.
Off to a good start.
Off to a great start. We've got that just softened, again, not melted, softened.
All right.
We're going to add to that some brown sugar.
Classic.
Classic. And we're just going to cream that up a little bit, kind of get it whipped up a little together. Whoa. Throw some brown sugar around.
It's Christmas morning.
It's Christmas morning. You can't have enough of it.
Yes.
And then to that, we are going to add, this is kind of where it's a little bit odd. We're going to add an egg.
All right.
A whole egg. That's not so odd. Mm-hmm. And then we are going to add an egg yolk.
Oh, wait. This is the trick part. You guys got to watch this because for us unrefined chefs,
there we go.
Show them the trick on how to get just the yolk.
Just the yolk. Now you're going to test me.
I know.
It'll
Pressure's on, Lori.
It'll not go well. Christmas, no pressure. Okay.
So you open it, half of it kind of sits in there, and then you do a little
thing.
Slinky action, right?
You got to get that yolk off of there.
All right.
Okay. One whole
Very
piece.
good.
No problem. I'm a professional.
She is a professional, ladies and gentlemen. Lord.
And we're going to get rid of that white because we don't need it. We're not
Okay.
doing anything with it. We're going to bring that back over and we're going to dump that egg and a yolk.
So what is the
in
difference?
there.
I mean, why
So
the
we need
significance
a
of that?
little bit more. We need the richness of the yolk, but
Okay.
we don't need the white. And it's just kind of a ratio of that liquid to dry.
Got it,
So
got it.
we just literally don't need it. And then what we have is the secret sauce for every gingerbread recipe, and that is molasses.
Ah, you're slower than molasses in
But
January,
look,
as they say.
It's still December, so it's
All
flowing nicely.
right.
We have another week. We're doing fine. We're going to add that in there, and that's going to make our mixture really nice and dark, and it's going to have that classic gingerbread flavor.
Smells lovely.
It really does. It smells wonderful. When this is baking, it is going to make the house smell like
It smells like Christmas. I can smell it right now.
It does. It's just, there's
Perfect.
no better way to do it. Once we get this all creamed up, it's going to be nice and soft, and then we're going to take our dry ingredients.
Okay.
And for this, again, absolutely spot on gingerbread ingredients. We start with our flour. We're going to add to it the just absolute simplest mixture: cloves, spices like ginger, cinnamon, everything that you think is going to be in gingerbread, it's in there.
Okay.
The recipe and the amounts are going to be on the website later.
Thank you. We can't remember that.
We can't remember that. It's a little of this, little of that. And we're going to mix those dry ingredients separate because we want to whisk those together and get all those spices activated. And then we're going to combine them slowly, unless you like to clean up messes.
Slowly but surely.
Very slowly. Take your time.
All
and
right.
we're going to have that ready to bake. And when we come back, we'll finish it up.
All right, can't wait. Stick around. We got more news coming up right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6:23 on this Christmas morning, and I hope your Christmas morning is off to a great start. The weather, again, on the other side is not off to a great start. It is cloudy, it is drizzly, it is breezy, which makes it feel even colder than what it already is. As our camera on the Cornell Complex, this one, the RDOT camera, I-49 and 8th Street in Bentonville, showing, again, we got a little bit of a haze from the drizzle. Cloudy, it is breezy, it's just kind of bland out there. Skywatch Storm Tracker is showing us that I don't think that this is in the right spot on this playlist. We'll get to that in a moment. We're going to find out. I do that so often. But you can see we've got some light snow, light wintry mix in parts of southeastern Kansas. Yep, this is absolutely not in the right spot. I am so sorry. I do that every so often, but that's all right. We're going to get back to that. All right, so we've got the light wintry mix out there in the purple, some light snow. If you're a traveler, great news. It's not going to add up to much, but those of us wishing for a white Christmas, again, it doesn't add up to much, but we are getting some of that on the backside of this system. And drizzle and even some flurries are going to be a possibility as we go through today, even into our Tuesday. But as you can see on the snow tracker heading into Tuesday afternoon, anything we see adds up to pretty much nothing. In Joplin right now, as you can see from our camera, we've had the drizzle, but it's kind of let up. It's still falling, but it's not as heavy as it was. 39, feels like 31. The west breeze at 13, and that west breeze is going to start gusting later today, upwards of 25 miles an hour. Chilly temperatures out there, 37 Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, Chanute, 35 Iola, Neodesha, 36s, Yates Center, Sedan, Parsons, and Chautauqua, as well as Independence, 30 in Miami, 39 Carthage and Lamar. The warmer weather or warmer temperatures continuing to push on off to our east and leaving us with these wind chills. 26 in Iola, 25 is what it feels like in Yates Center, feels like 20 in Miami, 17 in Grove, and with those gusty winds, it's not going to feel much better. Now, even the future track, because we told you drizzle and things like that, light precipitation doesn't show up on radar very well at all. It usually doesn't show up, period. Same on the future track. The future track can't pinpoint light drizzle or even light flurries. So that's why as we head into the afternoon, all it's showing is the cloud cover. But some light drizzle and even again a light flurry or two will be possible. Some slightly heavier precipitation will be possible in spots, but as you can see, most of us, we're going to start to go mostly cloudy through the overnight hours, but some flurries and everything still possible as we head into our Tuesday morning. Drizzle, some flurries through the morning. Temperatures just hovering out there in the 30s. Highs today in the mid-30s, and then they'll start to gradually fall back. And again, we'll start to see better opportunities for some flurries and breezy conditions as we head through the evening and overnight hours as our temperatures fall back to about 30. A little warmer tomorrow, still breezy, low 40s, and still some flurry chances out there. Drying out Wednesday, but much cooler, mid-30s. Maybe some early flurries on Thursday, 40, and then we'll clear out and warm up just a tad as we head into the weekend. That's a quick check of your forecast. Now here's Caitlin with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. COVID-19 variant JN1 is now the most dominant in the country, making up more than 44% of new cases. CDC data shows that the variant is especially prevalent in New York and New Jersey. Health officials say current vaccines are effective against JN1, though it does display a higher immune evasion compared to its parent, BA.286. And a new study finds the severity of certain proteins in the brain may be key to determining which seniors will benefit from drug therapies that can delay Alzheimer's disease. The research at the University of Pittsburgh looked at 94 adults with a mean starting age of 85 and followed them for 11 years. Doctors say a better understanding of how those proteins impact the brain may lead to the improved dementia treatments. And engineers at MIT developed an ingestible vibrating capsule that tricks the brain into thinking it's full. Vibrations activate stomach receptors to create the same feeling as after eating a meal. The pill has also been tested on animals, and researchers found when the pill was activated for about 20 minutes, the animals ate about 40% less food. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, RK Shows Incorporated held a gun show that featured various types of guns at the Joplin VFW.
And we've got a drizzly start out there. Just ran the wiper on our camera at 7th and Rangeline, and you can see the drizzle still popping up out there. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, Santa stops in Carthage for bowling and photos with local children.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Merry Christmas, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 6:30 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner. So again, Merry Christmas to you all. Hope it's off to a great start. I cannot believe it's Christmas, which means New Year's is just a week away.
Can you believe it, Chris?
It's going to be 2024 soon. I was just reading this Facebook post I saw, comments from 1957. Now, I won't go into detail on them, but it made me think, my parents didn't think they'd see the year 2000. They've since passed away, but still, I mean, it's hard even for me to believe it's 2020.
It still feels like the early 2000s.
It does. I feel like it just kind of stopped in like 2008 and time froze. But it really hasn't. But you might freeze if you go outside because it is rather cold out there. Let's take a quick look outside. This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. You can see the flags blowing. We've got the breeze. We've got the clouds. We've got the drizzle. We've got Christmas morning feeling more like a fall morning out there. It's cold though. And the wind certainly isn't helping. Quick look, this is the RDOT camera, I-49 and 8th Street in Bentonville. And just a quick reminder, the MoDOT cameras are not working this morning. They took the holiday off. I don't blame them. But you can see it's not much different that far south. We've got drizzle, we've got the clouds, we've got the wind. It is relatively unpleasant. Skywatch Storm Tracker showing the rain that it can actually pick up. Drizzle, flurries, light precipitation like that really doesn't show up on radar, but heavier precipitation, slightly heavier, will show up, and you can see where some of that is. Even getting some light snow, some light wintry mix in parts of southeast Kansas. Now, it's not going to add up to anything, but it is falling, and we all could get in on a blend of drizzle and light flurries as we head through the day. The drizzle also reducing visibilities in some locations. Miami Grove now down to pretty low visibility. Same in Iola, so do watch out there. No actual fog, but that drizzle just enough. 39 in Joplin right now, 37 in Pittsburgh. Still seeing drizzle out there as well, so watch out for those wet roadways. West winds will start gusting upwards of 25 today. Will be cloudy. We'll be in the mid-30s. And again, we could see occasional periods of a light wintry mix, maybe some flurries across the area. We'll talk more about your full forecast and the week ahead here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. RK Shows Incorporated held a gun show at the Joplin VFW. The show featured various types of guns, including AR-15s, pistols, and hunting weapons. Attendees were able to also practice shooting their guns with a simulated target practice course.
4 rules of handling firearms. Don't point them at something. They're always loaded until you check and see that they're not, and they're even loaded after you check that to ensure they're safe, and just general stuff like that.
Saturday's gun show wrapped up at 6 p.m. And the Missouri Highway Patrol has welcomed 25 new troopers, 3 of whom are from the 4-state area. The new troopers graduated from Missouri's State Highway Patrol's Law Enforcement Academy on Friday. Troopers Ryan C. Byers of Joplin, Corey W. Klotz of Nevada, and Mason K. Wilson of Seneca were among the troopers who sworn in. The new troopers will report to duty in their assigned troops on January 8, 2024. Santa and Mrs. Claus stopped in Carthage Saturday ahead of the big night to take photos at Grace Lanes. The bowling alley hosted its 2nd annual Boulder Express for the community. It included cookies, hot chocolate, and of course, bowling. The event began at noon and wrapped up at 3 p.m.
Well, I started bowling when I was about 12, and I bowled for several years, and then our alley closed down where I live. But I can hold my own. Am I the best out there? No, by any means, but I can hold my own as far as bowling against some of these better bowlers.
Grace Lanes is located at 219 East 3rd Street in Carthage, Missouri. And that's a look at this morning's top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, Napa Valley winemakers are toasting the 2023 vintage as possibly one of the best ever for both reds and whites.
And we've got the drizzle, we've got the clouds. It's chilly and rainy today, maybe even some flurries here and there. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
In Consumer Watch this morning, the presents have been opened. Now what to do with all that wrapping paper and boxes that they came in? Before you head to the dumpsters, CBS's Donna Bacchus has recycling tips.
The Burbank Recycle Center sees about 155 tons of material every day. That number increases 25% during the holidays as people send in the leftovers from all those presents.
This is our pre-sort line.
Amy Hammis is a recycling specialist. She says cardboard boxes and paper products that are not lined should be recycled, but you must remove the packing materials.
The tendency can be to keep all that packaging in there, and a lot of the stuff like the foam, the air pillows, things like that are not recyclable in your cart, and so you're just bringing contaminants to us.
Bows and ribbons are not recyclable and should be reused if possible. Wrapping paper is recyclable, but not all of it.
Once you start getting into all the fancy stuff, the gloss, the metallic, the glitter, all of that just degrades the value of the paper, and so it's not recyclable.
And those old, unwanted electronics are in a special category.
Anything that has a cord, like lighted trees or ornaments, needs to go to a recycle collection center and not placed inside your at-home recycle bin.
It's just going to tangle our equipment, and we're going to have to take it to a collection center for e-waste.
Many local governments have special points for e-waste, including products with rechargeable lithium batteries. And several retailers like Best Buy and Staples will recycle old electronics.
That has to be handled and dealt with responsibly.
Hammis says if you have any doubt, ask your recycling center what they accept to make sure your good intentions don't go to waste. Donna Bacchus, CBS News, Burbank, California.
Another tip, keep items loose. Most recyclers do not want recycling items in plastic bags that they have to break open and dispose of the bag. Also, breaking down cardboard boxes and removing the tape makes them easier to recycle. And sitting around the Christmas table today, you may be talking about money. A Bankrate survey found more than half of Americans sought financial advice this year, and most looked no further than their family and friends. Younger Americans were more likely to ask those that they know and use social media, while baby boomers were more likely to consult financial advisors. And when it comes to the economy, more Americans have been closer to the Grinch in 2023 than Santa, but that could change. Consumer confidence rose to a 5-month high in December, and the Conference Board also found more people are feeling optimistic about 2024. This comes amid a projected record holiday spending season from the National Retail Federation to the tune of as much as $966 billion. And Mickey is a free mouse starting in beginning of 2024. On January 1st, the 1928 Disney short Steamboat Willie copyright expires and the film enters the public domain. But it's not all Mickey all the time, just the mischievous, whistling boat captain version of the beloved character. And Napa Valley winemakers are toasting the 2023 vintage as possibly one of the best ever for both reds and whites. Extreme climate has played a role, and Cornell Barnard takes us to the vineyards in California.
Bells were ringing earlier this season for the 2023 grape harvest. Back then, few winemakers knew how good this season was going to be.
I was telling someone the other day that I'm not sure we'll see another vintage like this in our lifetime. I feel as a winemaker, I feel very lucky to have experienced this vintage.
Burgess Cellars winemaker Megan Zobek says anticipation for the 23 vintage is off the charts in the Napa Valley for both reds and whites. She believes there's something special about this harvest. Grapes have big energy and complexity.
You just know, like when you taste it, you know, you're just like, oh my gosh, this harvest. This is incredible.
I think it's going to be one of the best vintages I've worked at in Napa by hands down. These are young vines.
Macy Stubstad says the cork-popping news comes after one of the longest growing seasons in a decade. Some grapes weren't harvested until October or November due to a cool spring and drought-busting rains, which slowed the ripening process but created lots of hang time on the vine.
So when the vines woke up in the spring, about 2 weeks later from 2022, they came out with a lot of energy, good reserves to be able to grow, full canopies.
Napa Valley grape growers with a membership of nearly 700 are also declaring 23 as one of the best.
Our growers are saying high quality, high yields, which is somewhat unique, and yeah, definitely one for the record books.
These vines are now dormant for the winter, but after a challenging decade of wildfires, smoke, and epic drought, there's now something worth raising a glass to.
Grape growers and winemakers, this community remains they adapt. They're in farming. It's what Mother Nature throws their way.
And this year, the vineyard gods seem to be smiling. The 2023 year should be ready to taste in about 1 to 3 years.
As a winemaker, it's almost like that wave that you chase if you're a surfer. You always hear about it. There's legends about it. You don't know if it actually exists. And then this year we had it.
And that's it for Consumer Watch. Now here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, and you can see we've got some showers out there. We've even got some light wintry precipitation. Not going to add up to much of anything in terms of the wintry stuff, but the rain has been adding up for us, which is great news because we have definitely needed it. And if you watch the loop here, you can see where there's various transitions just as this precipitation goes through different temperature zones across the area. Again, the wintry stuff won't add up to really anything, but there it is. So this is our camera, 7th and range line. I wiped it earlier, cleared the drizzle, and it filled right back up again. So we've still got some decent drizzle falling. And because of that, we also have reduced visibilities for some locations. Iola, Joplin, Miami, Grove, Anderson, Bentonville, Nevada, Stockton, Carthage, all below where we should be. So do watch out for some of those reduced visibilities with the heavier drizzle and fog. RDOT camera, I-49 and 8th Street in Bentonville. You can kind of see, the fog and that drizzle. It's not dense. It's not completely blacking things out, but it is enough that you do need to slow down and take your time this morning. Cloudy skies will continue through the day. Temperatures hovering right in the mid to upper 30s and wintry mix type precipitation through the day and gusty west winds. We'll have more on that here in just a moment. It's also just about time to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries. Those are coming up after the break. But first, we're going to check in and see what's happening on CBS Mornings. All right, time for some Christmas birthdays in the 4 states, and we're going to start in Moran with Tucker Insminger celebrating birthday number 7. Happy birthday, Tucker.
And happy 13th birthday to Christian Bledsoe over in Frontenac.
And in Arma, Ashton Lovell celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday, Ashton.
And happy 17th birthday to Jasmine Sanchez Travis over in Webb City. It says happy birthday to our beautiful Jazz. We love you, love Mom, Dad, and Grandma.
And in Jasper, Whitley Buchanan celebrating birthday number 22. Happy birthday, Whitley.
And happy 24th birthday to Zach Cordy. He shares a birthday with his Aunt Charity, very special.
Yeah, and Charity Super, by the way, she's pictured there as well, celebrating birthday number 51.
And happy 31st birthday to Micah Omi of Pittsburgh. It says happy birthday from Mom, Dad, and Radar.
And we've got Luke Green celebrating birthday number 32 in Fredonia. Happy birthday, Luke.
Happy 49th birthday to Justin Greenwood.
And we've got Wallace Jones in Neosho celebrating birthday number 66. Happy birthday.
And taking it over to Columbus, happy birthday, Sharon Hyatt.
Also in Columbus, Ted Garrison celebrating a birthday today. Very happy birthday to you, Ted.
All right, and happy 70th birthday to Sue Groves of Pittsburgh. It says love always, Judy.
And Billy DeGraff celebrating a big birthday in Galena, number 99. A very happy Christmas birthday to you, Billy.
And we got one of our own. Happy birthday to Rhonda Zook. She is the KOAM business manager. Rhonda, we absolutely love you.
We appreciate the fact that she overlooks some of our wild behavior here, because otherwise she would probably be very busy dealing with all of us ruffians across the station. So Rhonda, very happy birthday to you. Truly though, we do appreciate you. Our list does continue in Joplin. Iris Willow Cusick celebrating birthday number 6.
And happy Sweet 16 to Shade Schuberger over in Columbus.
And in Forsyth, Emma Woodward celebrating birthday number 20.
And happy 22nd birthday to Logan Hensley of Pittsburgh.
And we've got Melissa Earl in Jasper celebrating birthday number 53.
And happy birthday to Rick Mine, who turns 69 today over in Walnut, Kansas.
And Kelsey Thomas, I'm transposing letters here. Kelsey Thomas celebrating another year wiser in Weir. Happy birthday, Kelsey.
All right, and happy 51st anniversary to Tom and Evan Evanghetto over in Columbus. Congrats, you too.
All right, that was another great list of birthdays and anniversaries. Unfortunately, as you saw, we had 2 pages of folks without pictures, and we want to see more pictures. Caitlin, how can they help us?
Well, all you got to do is submit to birthdays at KOAMnewsnow.com.
All right, and of course, I can't go without mentioning, I didn't have a picture ready, but you folks at home know who he is. Our youngest, Ryan, celebrated birthday number 7 on Saturday. It was our little early Christmas gift. I cannot believe he is 7 years old, and he has been reminding us since October that his birthday happens when it snows. Even though it's not snowing, his birthday happens when it snows. So happy birthday to him as well. He's made a few appearances on the morning show over the last couple of years, and I know you folks have enjoyed him almost as much, I'm sure, as we enjoy him. And you unfortunately are not going to enjoy this forecast. Do not blame me. I've told you before, I don't make the weather. I simply let you know what Mother Nature has decided for us. And for today, Mother Nature has said, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals, and given us this. Cloudy skies, drizzle, breezy, chilly conditions. Home Alone, by the way. I'm not trying to insult anybody. Anybody who hasn't seen Home Alone, because it occurs to me some of you may not have, are probably sitting, listen here. You're coming to this TV station with pitchforks and torches. Don't do that. It's from Home Alone. All right, it is windy. That's our camera on the Cornell Complex. RDOT camera, I-49 and 8th Street in Bentonville, showing the clouds. The drizzle seems to have let up. Their camera not nearly as covered as it was. And same with the KDOT camera just south of Pittsburgh on 69. But roadways are still wet, and the Skywatch Storm Tracker is still showing some rain and even some wintry precipitation. Now, the wintry stuff's not going to accumulate or add up to much of anything, but it is out there, as we can take a closer look around Burlington and in the northeastern parts of Greenwood County. But again, that's not really going to add up. And of course, we know we're getting drizzle in a number of locations. But again, drizzle, flurries, those things the radar just really can't pick up. And we could see, again, some light wintry mix and some light drizzle as we go through the day today. However, wanted to show you the snow tracker real quick just to show you that it's not going to add up to anything. And this is just kind of your confirmation that we're unfortunately not going to see much of the white stuff. But the rain has been adding up, and we've needed that rain for sure. We're going to have more on your forecast, including some other opportunities for some light wintry stuff here in just a moment, as well as the news you need to know. And when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14, which, if you didn't know, that happens at 7 a.m., Santa Claus comes down the chimney. Everyone knows that, but what if you don't have a chimney? How does he get in? Let's see how one company made sure that Santa could get in and leave his presents.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A Joplin police officer is confirmed to be involved in a shooting of a 55-year-old male. Joplin police were responding to a suicidal male subject earlier yesterday evening in the Royal Heights neighborhood near St. Louis and Vandalia. The man was rushed to an area hospital trauma response and was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Captain William Davis confirmed to KOAM that an officer was involved in the shooting and an investigation is ongoing. And a Seneca, Missouri man is dead following a motorcycle crash in Ottawa County, Oklahoma Saturday night. Authorities say a single motorcycle crash occurred about 5 p.m. Saturday near 5 Mile Camp. 39-year-old Nicholas Patton was transported to Mercy Joplin, where he later died. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. Christmas is here and local organizations are preparing Christmas dinners for area communities. KNEO 91.7 FM in Neosho, Missouri will hold its annual Christmas dinner at the Neosho Municipal Auditorium at 11 a.m. on Christmas Day. In Kansas, the Wesley House in Pittsburgh is partnering with the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas to also hold a Christmas dinner at noon at the Wesley House. For more information about community Christmas dinners, check out our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door on this Christmas day, it's going to be chilly, it's going to be breezy, and we could see some drizzle, maybe some light flurries. Winds out of the west gusting upwards of 25. Temperatures hovering in the mid to upper 30s. We could see a few light flurries. That stuff will not add up to anything as we go through the evening, but could see a couple. We fall back down to about 30 degrees. Light wintry mix possible again tomorrow and again early Thursday morning. Warmer tomorrow, still breezy, chilly on Wednesday. Sunshine returns by the weekend, but temperatures staying cool in the 40s. And of course, your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Coming up next, Tony DeCopel and Nate Burleson get into the holiday spirit, searching for the perfect Christmas tree and their mission to spread some holiday cheer.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, it's Christmas Day, and around the globe, the faithful gather to mark one of the holiest holidays of the year.
Plus, Lori Horton joining us back in the studio to finish up her traditional gingerbread cake bars. Do not want to miss that. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. Quick reminder, Chiefs game is on today. No KOAM news at noon. And we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
Merry Christmas, 4 states.